They told me to eat less, move more, cut calories, choose low fat, and I listened. I did everything the right way. I worked out, I moved more, I counted every single bite that I ate. I ate healthy, at least what they said was healthy. I ate it. But I still gained weight. I was exhausted. I was craving everything and nothing made sense. And for the longest time, I thought it was just me. I thought I was lazy or I was broken or I just wasn't trying hard enough. But then I learned the truth. I wasn't lazy, I was insulin resistant. And I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to know if you're insulin resistant too, and how you can fix it. Let's start with the main one, and that's gaining weight, especially around your midsection. It doesn't matter how little you eat or how hard you work out. It's like your body just automatically holds on to fat, especially around your midsection. That's not about willpower. That's about insulin. When you're insulin resistant, your body keeps pumping out more insulin to manage your blood sugar. But insulin is a fat storing hormone. If insulin is high all the time, your body never gets the message to burn fat. It's constantly storing the fat. That's why you can be in a calorie deficit and still gain weight. It's not just about calories, it's about hormones. And insulin runs the show. The second sign is you're constantly hungry or tired after eating. You eat a big meal and an hour later, you're looking for more to eat. You feel sleepy and sluggish. That's not a lack of discipline. That's insulin resistance. Your cells are basically ignoring the insulin, so your insulin stays in the bloodstream instead of going into your cells. Your brain basically feels that it's still hungry, and that's why it feels like you can never really get full, no matter how much you eat. Sign number 3. Now this one hit me kind of hard, and basically what it is your blood labs look good, but they really aren't. Something just feels off. You might have skin tags, fatigue, cravings, brain fog, and also bloating. Your blood sugar is normal, and they send you home. But insulin resistance starts years before you actually will see it on any test. So many of us are walking around with all the symptoms and no answers because doctors aren't trained to catch it early. I had normal labs, but I knew something was off because, like I said, I was never losing weight. I was still gaining weight, even though I was doing everything that I was told to do. So now you know the signs. So let's talk about how you can reverse the insulin resistance and become insulin sensitive. The first way that you can lower insulin is simple. Don't eat. It's called fasting. Now remember, we're talking about fasting. We're not talking about starving yourself or skipping meals to punish yourself out of shame. I'm talking about intentional windows of eating and intentional windows of not eating. When you're in that intentional window of not eating, you're giving your body a chance to rest. When you're not eating, your body does not make insulin. I started with 16-8, which once again means 16 hours you fast, 8 hours you eat. Doesn't mean you eat for 8 hours. It just means in an 8-hour period, that's the time you can eat. But 16 hours, you don't eat. Therefore, your insulin levels will fall. Now I do about 24, sometimes 48 hours fasting, depending on what it is that I feel that I need to do or I should do for myself. But 20 to 22 hours for me is pretty much standard. And that really equates to just one meal a day, honestly. The good thing about fasting is that every single time you fast, your body becomes more insulin sensitive. Okay. So when you're not constantly eating, your insulin levels stay lower, and the longer you don't eat, the lower your insulin levels are going to go, and that means the more fat you will be able to burn. This is where I really started losing my weight. Now, remember guys, I was up to 326 pounds, 325, 326 pounds. And thankfully, I have been able to maintain that weight that I lost a year ago. And now I'm at about 285-ish pounds. So I have been able to maintain that weight, which is about 35 to 37 pounds for the last year. When I dropped that weight a year ago, I noticed that I had so much more energy. I wasn't hurting. All the pain and the inflammation that I had in my body had naturally just subsided. And at first, it started going just lower, lower, lower. And now today, a little bit over a year later, I don't have any inflammation in my body anymore. Another thing that I found out was that my cravings had stopped. The longer I fasted for, the lower my cravings got. The less I started wanting to eat carby types foods, the sugars, the cakes, the candies, the chips, the sodas, things like that. All in all, fasting is a free, simple tool in order for you to reset your body. That's exactly what fasting is. And like I said, it's free. The second way that you can fix or stabilize your blood sugar is you got to change the way that you eat. Okay. So you can't eat the chips and the candy and the cookies and the cake and sodas nonstop. You have to really change the way you eat. Okay, Toya, so what do you mean by change the way you eat? I don't mean that you can never eat another cake or cookie or candy or cheesecake, anything like that ever again. What it really is about is learning how to pay attention to the three macros. That's fats, protein, and carbohydrates. You want to limit your carbohydrates. Carbohydrates still equals sugar no matter which way you want to look at it. An example of carbohydrates would be a pack of cookies, a Pepsi. That's your bad carbs, or I don't even want to say bad carbs. That's carbs that your body doesn't need, as compared to the carbs you want to eat, which is broccoli. There's no way you can eat 4 cookies and have it compare to eating a cup of broccoli. You can't compare a cheesecake to eating, say, some, I don't even know, like some greens or a salad. They are not created equal. All in all, changing your diet means eating high protein, healthy fats, and low carb. Now, an example of high protein, your chicken, your steak, your ribs. High healthy fats are, say, like you had a New York strip steak that has excellent marbling in it. It's good for you, as compared to, say, tenderloin steak. It's still high protein, but you want healthy fats as well. Other examples of healthy fats are your MCT oil, your coconut oil, your ghee. Low carb whole foods are like your salads, your spinach, kale, greens, a little bit of carrots, not too much. That's the difference between the 3 macros that you should be eating, as opposed to eating all different types of processed foods like the chips, the soda, the candies, and such and such. In all honesty, the rule is the less ingredients in a food, the better. A third way to lower insulin is to move your body and manage your sleep. You need to be getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. But yes, moving your body is absolutely another way that you can lower your insulin levels. You don't necessarily have to go into the gym. Some people are not gym rats, and that's cool. Just taking a simple walk will do. Okay, it's because you moved your body. Stretching. If you like to run, then run. If you like to go to the gym, go to the gym. But the key is to really move your body and make sure you get that 7 to 9 hours of sleep. If you're struggling with sleep like I do, a lot of the time I found that the more you do get out and move your body, even as simple as a 2-mile walk, or, if you can't do 2 miles, do what you can do. But that does help you sleep better at night. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Also, you should know that when you build muscle, that helps your insulin levels come down. Building muscle burns fat. It keeps that insulin levels down. Another bonus, when you do eat, after you eat, instead of sitting down and feeling lethargic, hopefully you shouldn't be if you've changed your diet. But even after you have changed your diet, the next best thing you can do is get up and take a walk. 15 minutes is all you really need. You don't have to walk fast. You don't have to walk with a bunch of people. Just sit there and walk. Sometimes, when I go for a walk after I eat, I just walk around in circles, honestly, just because I like to stay where it's lit, as far as lighting at night. And that's all you need. 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if you walk 15 minutes around a block, if you walk 15 minutes for a mile, just walk for 15 minutes. It really is that simple. If this video helped you, don't leave without subscribing and hitting that like button. I'm not just sharing science, I'm sharing my story, because I know what it feels like to be broken. I know what it feels like to do every single diet that you can imagine and still not lose weight. You're not lazy, you're not a failure, and you're definitely not alone. Insulin resistance might be in your body today, but it doesn't have to be. Let's heal together.